Well, hello and welcome to I Love Gay today. And we are with my friend, and he is my friend. He's my virtual friend, Shane Wenzel from Calgary. How you doing, Shane?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Very good. I mean, no, we've been connected for years, and I honestly, and I think we'll have fun during this video, is that I honestly feel like I know you, but we haven't met in person yet.
No, we haven't.
I,
We could have possibly done that at a conference, but we can't do those now.
no, we're a little limited, but we'll be back. But as far as first, before we get into the other stuff, what do you do? What is your business life?
My business life is we're a home builder slash developer here in Calgary, Alberta, Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's no, I just and so uh and so you're probably also very involved in with local chamber, yeah, the local LGBT chamber and the
hmm
non-LGBT, just the greater, I don't know what the name of it is.
Oh, the Calgary Chamber of Commerce from a distance, but I'm involved with Build Calgary, which is our industry association, and then
Yeah.
another group called Alberta Enterprise Group up in Edmonton, Alberta.
Okay.
So yeah, I get around.
But do you miss the net there's no networking now, so hopefully you're tapping into some of the virtual things there.
I'm tapping into a lot of the virtual things, even with my time as a member of Tech Canada. I'm tapping into the virtual programs that they're putting on as well. So
Yeah. Well, the fun part in my mind is that I think we're connected because, like I said, we play in the same sandbox, and people are thinking like, "What the heck does that mean?" But I mean, from at least where I'm sitting, what I look at is that is that you're one of those people that really truly understands the power of whether it's Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn, but it's the
mhm,
balancing of that and how you balance. And I find that you can give me your feedback. I find that when we all post more about direct things about our business, people kind of go,
mhm,
that's interesting, but you've had some real, I would call them knock them out of the park posts lately, but they're much more heartfelt and they're much more
mhm.
just whether about the pandemic and so forth. I don't know. What's your feedback on that?
Yeah, I would agree with you. When I make posts for for my business, which you have to do on occasion, they get a relatively decent response to it. But when you can hop on video on social media and and like you said, you kind of let your heart go,
Yeah.
that's when I think people can relate to you more because they're going through a lot of the same things, and you really just kind of let down your guard. You
Yeah.
are who you are, and people can relate to that.
Yeah. Well, what was that one? You posted one that was just about utilizing social media. What was that about?
Yeah, well, that was kind of a fun one because as we go through the marketing of the company, we were going into what we call Shane's stories, and it just kind of hit me. I remember I was cornered by one of our competitors here about 3 years ago, and he was adamant because he had heard from his staff that I was on social media
Yeah.
and that they were loving my posts, and he had looked at it and he just thought, what a complete and utter waste of time. Why are you doing this? You're the president of the company. This is a marketing tool. You shouldn't be wasting your time. You should focus your efforts in on this.
Yeah.
And we disagreed, and I did it in a very professional manner, but he was pretty adamant I was wasting my time, and basically drop this, leave it to the sales and marketing team. And that was the post, and it did resonate with a lot of people because I think we've all been there before.
Yeah.
We've all hopped on this wonderful thing called social media, and at some point in time, we've all kind of wondered, is it worth the time?
Well, you
Well,
had a
I've been on
lot
it
of
for 10 years, and I would say it's worth the time.
well, you had a lot of, and LinkedIn is unique. It shows all of us video views, engagement, shares, but you had a lot of comments. Do you remember any of those?
Oh, a ton of them, a
Yeah.
ton
Yeah.
of them. A lot of support, and
Yeah.
some kind of a little bit indifferent, still trying to kind of understand it. But
Yeah.
like I said, I've been around on this for 10 years, so I get it. I understand it, and I had to learn the same way as everybody else did then because there wasn't a lot of material on it.
Yeah.
So we just learned from trial and error.
Well, it makes sense. And then, but you had that other post that was all about kind of like your feelings from the pandemic out there. And I think that one also, it's like people had a lot to say about that.
Well, sure they did. Well, again, it's one of those relatable posts, Matt, where you know they've been stuck at home. They've been isolated. They've had their business shut down, and they're waiting for the government, what have you, to come back and say it's okay to open up, but you can only do it this much.
Yeah, I
You
know.
know, so that resonates with a lot of people because they share the same pain.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. But how you doing overall as far as like, now that your business has had to make quite a number of adjustments, I'm sure, during this quarantine and pandemic.
Oh yeah. Well, we were one of the fortunate ones out there because in our industry we're considered an essential service.
Okay.
So we were still in here working, but I guess I'll try and make a long story short here. My my partner, and we made it back from Hawaii, and we had heard all this pandemic stuff going on, and we kind of poo-pooed it. And once we got back here to Calgary, the reality set in, and 3 days later, I'm sitting in a boardroom with our executive team, and we're writing COVID protocol.
Yeah.
And by the time all that is said and done, I'm sitting there saying, I got to go home. I got to isolate for the next 2 weeks based on all of this. But yeah, we had set up protocol where we spread people out in the office, gave them the distancing, and we worked split shifts. So we had people come in for 5 hours in the morning, and then go home and work the rest of the couple 2-3 hours of the day, and then the next
Yeah.
crew came in, and on the job sites we're separating trades so we don't have them working on top of each other. Everybody's maintaining their 2 or 6 feet difference or distance in
Yeah. Yeah.
space.
Yeah.
And the world got turned upside down. People weren't coming into show homes, so we had to come up with a lot of virtual options for them to do their shopping.
Yeah.
We did a lot of work, and we pivoted really quick, and kudos to our team here. They made it all happen.
Nice. What about even on the personal level? I mean, even in Calgary, what is it like? Are you able to go to restaurants again yet, or eating outdoors? What's life like there?
We can finally do that, but I believe they're just at 50% capacity right now.
Okay.
They're hopeful of going to 80% soon, but again, it's all based on that curve. So we've seen a little spike up, not a huge one, but enough to raise everyone's eyebrows.
Yeah, I think that's the interesting part. On another interview I had with someone a few weeks ago, we're all in this together, and it's
Yes.
globally, and it's a unique experience that doesn't happen very often. But he was saying not only we're in it together, but we all have a different lens or a different way we're all processing and dealing with all these. But
Oh
the
yeah.
but the part that binds us all together is, I think, in general, yeah, we're very, it's like wearing a mask and social distancing and being able to figure out like how can we actually get back into restaurants and social life in general, while at the
Yeah.
same time still trying to be safe. So I think we're all finding our way.
Still finding our way.
We are.
I know I'm like you. I miss my social functions.
Yeah, I know. I didn't realize how many I went to until all of a sudden when they all got taken away very quickly. And
Oh yeah.
but the other side is I'm enjoying this downtime. I'm enjoying just being able to spend more time in,
Hmm.
and I'm also enjoying the connections that I've been able to make even through this show. Believe it or
Yeah.
not, I get kind of excited right before a show's going to start. I'm like, oh, this is what's going to happen. What are we going to talk about?
Well, I mean, I think we forced ourselves to finally utilize technology and communicate in different ways. I mean, we've all talked about it for a number of years.
Yeah,
Now we're doing it.
yeah.
What a great thing.
But it was like a crash course. Everyone just said,
Oh
well,
yeah.
you got to
Well,
use what the technology that's available now, and you have to learn very quickly. And we
oh yeah.
we did. So no, this is
Did you find it
exciting.
challenge? Did you find it challenging starting to work out of the house?
No, because this is always my preferred way of working. Is
There you go.
even before, when we had gaywired.com and we had an whole office and a staff, and I would actually work from home in the morning till about 11, because when I went to the office,
Oh wow.
everybody, you get bombarded with questions, clients call, and I
Oh,
just get very little work done. My productivity level went straight down. And but fortunately, I was one of those people that can come into the office, and everyone always knew I wasn't coming in at 11 because I slept in and had a great life. They knew I
yeah.
was on. I was messaging them. I was doing all this, but but I was in control. I was in control,
Hmm.
and they could not just jump to the front of the line. And I loved that peace and quiet and that control. Plus, I'm a morning person, so in the morning I get all my best thoughts done. And then I give everybody the afternoon when my mind is sliding down into that evening.
Yeah. There you go. Lay those easy ones on me.
I know that was a very long-winded response, but hey, I've had that pent up for years. I had to get that out.
I agree. I agree. I found it tough, because it was like you said, it was that adjustment like that. And boy, I have a greater appreciation because my father has worked out of the house, out of his home office for the last 40 years. He
Yeah.
has one here. He comes in for about 2 or 3 hours a day, but he prefers to work out of his home
Yeah.
office. So I think this time it finally took, 40 years for me to have a great appreciation for how disciplined he is.
It is. And people, and when I say it's, you have to be very self-motivated. And I always say
Yes.
that, like, but don't get me wrong, because that means that if someone can't work from home, that doesn't mean they're unmotivated or lacking
No.
self-motivation.
Oh, definitely
It's
not.
just because it's not for everybody. But for some people, and especially for me, I like that. I like that peace and quiet. Like, I always tell people I'm Sybil. I'm two people. Remember that show, Sybil, Crazy Personalities?
Yes.
I like the quiet. I like the peacefulness, and I like the mornings, and I get a lot of things done. But then at a certain point, I can't do that every day. Like, at a certain point, then, which the afternoons are for, then I like to get out. I get out,
Yeah.
see people, and it's the way I've always lived my life. Whether it's programming and sales and marketing, two very different disciplines, and I just
Hmm.
utilize different parts of my personality. But that's why always worked very well for me to work from home, because I can get myself out, go to networking events in the evening, and so forth. But some people say, how do you not watch Oprah all day? And I'm just like, I don't know. It doesn't even cross my mind.
TV's not that interesting anymore.
I leave mine on Chromecast. I like the pretty pictures that rotate.
Oh
That's
yeah,
just me.
see, it's not just me then.
No, this is great. No, like I said, it's just a few moments just to be able to kind of join and share a few thoughts, and especially it's wonderful to connect with folks that are outside of the U.S. and have a different perspective on what's going on.
I was going to say that. Do you have many Canadian guests?
You've noticed. No, we've actually had many outside. We have a lot of London, UK, and
So
we're trying to get the Canadian Gay Chamber folks on board as well. They did a great conference last week, and
yeah,
we're gonna do an interview in a few weeks that are just really focusing on the Canadian LGBT business life and market and so forth. So that'll be kind of fun.
perfect. Yeah, I'm sorry I missed that one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they did a bang up job. So, but again, no, thank you for being here with us, and like I said, look forward to connecting here in the real world.
absolutely.
Yeah,
All we need is for COVID to back off, and we can do this.
you got it. Well, thanks again for being here with me.
Thanks, man.
All right.
Take care.